welcome to Kimball County. Hello, this is Martine Jendela. I'm a rising senior at UNL, and this summer I've been working with RPN in Kimball County as a rural fellow. I was working remotely with Jamie Bright as my community leader, and we were working on different economic projects that aimed at developing rural communities in Kimball County, including Dix, Bushnell, and Kimball community. Some of the projects we worked on include gathering demographic information for Sydney Creative District, and this is in Cheyenne County, which is different from Kimball, and also literature review for Youth Advisory Committee in Kimball. And I was just compiling best practices, procedures, and guidelines to help youth in Kimball come together and impact their community. I also helped to create community surveys that were to improve the quality of life in Bushnell, Dix, and Kimball. And these were just to understand how people in these communities view their communities, what they love about their communities, and what they would like to change about their communities to make life better. The most fun part of this internship was visiting Kimball County as I got a chance to see other places, other significant areas of Kimball County, and I also got a chance to climb on the highest point of Nebraska. It was very fun with my team. We got time to connect as we were working virtually, and this was time for us to meet in person and have fun, connect with each other, and learn about each other. Another project I worked on was identifying grants for a community center slash disaster shelter in Bushnell because most of the people in this area don't have basements and they need a community center or disaster shelter just to help them. So I worked on identifying the grants they are eligible for and gathered some information about those grants. I also worked on historic walking tour brochure, which was just to help the people who want to walk around Kimball. I was given the information and was inserting appropriate pictures for the significant places, buildings, and inserting some directions and maps to help them to guide the people who wants to walk around Kimball. The last project I worked on was literature review on boom-bust communities, specifically to prepare for a boom period to make it more sustainable for the following bust. All of these projects were very important for Kimball County development, and they were very helpful to me as a person to develop as a leader because they left me with a great leadership skill because I was working independently and I had to be independent. I had to be strategic in the way I was working to accomplish all the projects I was given. Surprisingly, I loved life in rural areas. When I went to Kimball, I never thought it would life in a small town would be as fun as it was, at least for me. Just one day I spent there, it was amazing and I loved it. I felt relaxed and I just loved the feeling of being in the small town. Through this experiential learning, I got an opportunity to grow both personally and professionally, and I'm very grateful for being part of this Rural Fellows program because I grew into an inclusive leader and I'm ready to go out in the world and exercise this effective leadership style wherever I will go. Thank you so much.
One of the things Mart worked on this summer was a Citizens Institute on Rural Design project in Kimball County. She helped create surveys and look for grants for projects in placemaking and people attraction and tourism in Kimball, Bushnell, and Dix. This project will help these communities be more resilient in the future and try to capture some younger populations and become more sustainable in the long term. Her assistance was invaluable and really saved the community leaders a significant amount of time. It was also really valuable to get her background and perspective as someone who comes from outside of the country, just to see her frame of reference and how she views the world.